Okay, good morning. It is a Sunday morning. We've got kind of weather light today. The temperatures are going to increase. We're going to see numbers into the 70s and even 80s today. And then tomorrow, parts of California, parts of the Southwest, down to by Phoenix, certainly, and Nevada, Las Vegas, upper 80s, maybe low 90s. So it's going into a very warm period. And then things turn around as we get towards the 28th and the early part of April, around April 1. We'll see. I mean, it looks like there's a potential for rain. But in the meantime, things warm up and dry up. This is Mount Shasta. I like this shot. I was looking at the live cameras. I wasn't going to do anything today, but then I was like, looking at the live cameras. Oh, excuse me. Looking at the live cameras going, these are too awesome to share. I mean, this is the first thing I do in the morning. And if you look at this, you can see the lens cloud beginning to form at one of the lower elevations on the north side of Mount Shasta. And that's an indication of wind. And so are these. These are Mares-Terrell cirrus clouds representing weather systems that are still going to the north. The jet stream, this is pretty far, right? This is right at the Oregon border, essentially. So the jet stream is closer to this area than it is if you're in Bakersfield, right? And so you're seeing these upper high clouds being blown ahead, and you're also seeing indications of wind because of this lenticular activity. And then the air sinks on the backside of the mountain and leaves that landscape. So what I thought would be fun to do, and I don't know how it's going to work out, but let's give it a go. I thought it would be interesting to fast forward this and watch as that lens begins to form. So this is this morning, sun coming up, and we should start to see some moisture pile up. The fog comes in. That's pretty standard out there in the valley. And then you see it's clouds starting to form. See it? Little cap cloud there. See it? It's layered up. Awesome. So if we keep watching this today, which I might, this cloud's going to generally lift up and it's going to fill this, and the cloud is going to it's like a standing wave. It's going to stay put. And it will most likely, by the next few hours, will be up over the top of the mountain, and you'll have a full-on lens shape. So Mount Shasta, known for its lens-shaped clouds, it's 14,179 feet. I did climb it once with my lovely wife. It was not as easy as you think. Not technical, but just, you're getting up in the dark and you're climbing. It's part of the Cascade Range. It's one of the 7 holy mountains in the world, supposedly. But one of the things it does is so interesting, I think, and what makes it probably one of the most interesting mountains is because it rises. It's not like Whitney is in a chain of mountains, right? The Sierra Nevada, and they're all 13,000 foot peaks. So it's not as impressive when you're at the top of Mount Whitney. You're up there, but you're above everything by about 9,000 feet, almost 10,000 feet. It's 14,000 feet, but it's basically a high desert all around you. So the views are stunning. Okay. All right, I think we got that covered. Here is the jet stream, and what I wanted you to see here is the arcing. See it coming up and over right there. And you'll see these last frames, it starts to really punch up and come over. And so again, it sort of describes, it doesn't relate to the lenticular cloud, but it's the same idea, right? You got this flow coming in, it gets bumped up, and then it drops down. The fluid dynamics are, they might be fairly similar, huh? Okay, so that's where we are. Here's California. It's going to be a beautiful day, like I said. I think the thing to pay attention to the next 4 days or so will be allergies. Tree pollens are going to be big. Grasses might try to show, but tree pollens are going to be really noticeable. And awesomely enough, you're going to see the birds starting to make nests and all that. They get going, man. Nature's going, hey, wait a minute, it's 80 degrees and it's April, which, it's time to be spring, almost. This is the GFS, and we're doing this because it's, I'll put in, I'll loop, you know what I'm gonna do? I put a loop around San Francisco or Bay Area, and then you'll see out in the Pacific, this is what's coming. See the big dome, see the big ridge over the top of us, that big hill type thing. That's the jet stream bending up. Little something kind of tweaks through on the 26th, just sort of knocks it down a little. So that system on the 28th can bring us a chance of some showers as far south as San Francisco, but light. And then it sort of opens the door a little bit for this next opportunity around April 1st. And then this one looks promising. But I guess the takeaway here is nothing looks amazing right now. Models are going to change. This time of year, we call this the transition seasons. I'm sure you're transitioning from winter to summer, spring, fall, same thing in fall. You're transitioning from summer to winter. And these transition seasons are not always easiest on the models. At least that's been my experience over thousands of years. I'm sure I haven't really dug into how they build the models anymore. I think we built a LFM, lifted fine mesh model when I was in college. We built it like we did, we went through all the calculations and put in the inputs, and they're horribly complex. I'm sure things have changed since then. I think we derived the omega equation too, which was sort of a really awesome equation. But anyway, I think they probably used many more equations and more complex than they did back in 1989. So I guess what I'm showing you is there's the best opportunity there around April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Looks like the best opportunity for some rain. So this is is this the GFS? No, HRRR. This is good for temperatures. Forecast highs for today. And remember, the HRRR is a rapid update, so it's hour by hour. And then you see the heat coming. This is this afternoon. And this is this afternoon. And you can see the numbers in the valley. There's, that's not right, 77 degrees. Down around Lompoc, you're at 76 degrees. Down towards eastern parts of Salton Sea area, 88 degrees. That's today. So you can see basically visually you go, oh look, it's going to be pretty warm today, and these are the places it's going to be warm. And then it cools off tonight, and then we're going to go show you tomorrow. And tomorrow's going to be warmer. See that really pop in there? So yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's some heat. So that's on Tuesday, or no, pardon me, that's Monday afternoon. And so you're going to be looking at temperatures in the Bay Area that'll be probably in the 80s, maybe even mid 80s. And then you've got 90s, mid 90s down in the deserts of California. But that's the next 48 hours. And then in terms of rainfall accumulation, there it is. I just rolled right through it. We went right into April 4th. So that's what the model is. It doesn't mean it's going to go down, but that's the model going, hey, this is who's getting wet. This is who's not getting wet. And right now, that's not much for the next couple of weeks. I like this map because I think you can, especially when you're, first thing you notice is, well, what I notice is Cape Mendocino, right? That's where all the rain is, right there. Point Conception is where the rain clearly stops. And it's, inch and a half in Marin County. That doesn't seem like much. I wouldn't put too much into that map today other than, it looks like we're kind of getting closer to a drier weather pattern for the spring, which is not atypical at all. But spring can break loose. What do we got? We got winter weather advisories up in the Pacific Northwest. A little bit of a surf advisory along the coast. It's not a high surf warning. It's I think they call it a high surf alert or something. And really it just means it's going to be hot. And so basically all the people in San Francisco race out to the beach, and Ocean Beach is incredibly dangerous. And in my mind, the most dangerous beach in the world. I'll stand by that because its proximity to a huge urban center and the mouth of the Golden Gate Bridge, huge rip currents because of that water that flushes out of there. Okay, so these are the watches and warnings for tomorrow. These are some fire concerns still and more fire concerns, but they're going to get some rain in here tomorrow. So we'll show you the rain. They're going to get some rain in those fire zones. So that's going to help a lot. But downside to the rain down here in the Carolinas and back through Louisiana is it'll probably come with some severe weather as well. So this is tomorrow, and then you see where the rain is here. So basically for us, for the folks that are probably, most of you are from this area, the West Coast, it looks pretty dry, and it looks really warm. And now we've done the weather. So what did we say? We got today, tomorrow, Wednesday, going to be, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, going to be pretty warm. And then above average, and then we start to cool down with that opportunity late March, early April for something to happen. And then, and overnight lows are still on the mild side. It wasn't that cold. It's not that cold right now. Tahoe's like in the mid 30s, low 30s. Okay, so this is an interesting shot. This is Mount Shasta again. And this is from the east. We were just looking at it from over here on the north side. Now we're looking at it from the east side, kind of Fall River-ish. And then there's the clouds from the weather system. We can put a loop on it and we'll just enjoy. Let's see if I can make it play here. Can I? Yeah, buddy. Look at that. So that's just the clouds coming in from that weather system. We are looking, in case you're wondering, these numbers up top, those are degrees. So that's how 270 be basically west wind. See the fog showing up in the low-lying areas in the morning hours. I think Fall River's beautiful. I really do. If you've ever been there, fishing's pretty good too. But it's a pretty awesome place. That east side, that high desert, it's beautiful. Really pretty. Fall River, McBurney, MacArthur. This is, I know where it is. Oh, it's Mount Vision. This is from Point Reyes this morning. And you see the fog coming in, right? So that we got a little valley fog meets coastal fog is what we got. Isn't that interesting? You got two fogs working there. And you know what I pick up from that? See how the inversion's kind of down? See how we're looking out over it? That's the high pressure. So the top of that cloud cover is the inversion. That's the inversion. That's where the temperature changes. Because think about fog's cold, right? So the temperature in the fog is cooling, and then it gets to the top of the inversion, and from there up, that clear air zone, it's warming. And it's warming because the high pressures, the air is sinking, the molecules rub together, they warm up, compression. And so everything above, this is all, well, let's do this. Let's make the lapse rate. So this is temperature going to the left, right? So it's getting colder. So if I was to make a temperature bar, I'd make that 30 degrees, and then I'm going to make this 0 degrees. Okay, so temperature's going, we're making it colder as you go to the left. So this is how the SKU-T would look. The environmental sounding would look like this: temperature cooling, 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 and then you would have temperature warming. Well, I didn't do it right. It's a good concept. So here, temperature cooling, and then you get to the top of that inversion, and then the temperature starts to warm. And that's a really stable environment because cool air won't rise through warm air. If it's the other way around, if this is cold and this is warm, thunderstorms, right? So it's just, that's all an inversion is a stable layer. It's kind of fun getting into stuff we don't normally get into, but I think weather is pretty well taken care of. Mount Tamalpais, beautiful. And then there comes the fog, coastal fog. Same thing, same idea, same deal with the inversion. Why are inversions so important? Oh, that's beautiful, isn't it? They're important. Well, they're important for a lot of reasons, but same thing here, right? So it's cooling as it goes up, and it gets to the top of the cloud, and then it warms. So there's the inversion, is right there, right? And then right at the top of that cloud deck, right? This matters. The inversion you can't always see in the form of fog and clouds, especially in the morning in some places in the winter. You get a cap, and so the atmosphere below the inversion is colder, and it's not, the air isn't mixing, it's kind of stagnant. So like you've been up in like Chico or somewhere in the morning, and the fog or the smoke from the house fires is just settling down. That's what happens. So the air quality, all the car emittance, factory emittance, anything inside this inversion stays in this inversion, and it just bounces around. And so it doesn't mix out. When the fog leaves, you get vertical mixing, and then the air gets clean again. But when it's inversion, you're going to get typically bad air quality. So when you get shallow inversions, and this inversion is, you can almost tell, right? Because we're at 2,300 feet on TAM. So let's call that inversion 1,500 foot. And I can measure it. There's a way to do it, but we're not going to do it right now. That's what an inversion is. And it comes up a lot in life. For some reason, I don't know why, but it does. And I do know why. But people, it's a complex notion for folks, and it shouldn't be. It's just cold air is stable, warm air especially is fairly stable when it's above cold air, because the cold air can't rise through it, and so there's no mixing of atmosphere. So you get lessened air quality, and so that's why whenever we have where was I on this one? Doggone it. Okay, let's play it again. I got talking. Let's see. This is... Well, doggone it. Oh, you know where this is? Sorry about that. I mean, if we're hanging in, right? We're just doing this. This is up above Pacifica. So down that Sharp Park down there, Pacifica Pier. And again, the inversion stands, right? And then here is Montera Mountain here up in this area, and Devil's Slide is right below that arrow. So again, inversions, yeah. And so we got one. Oh, when the thing that it shows us is, the other thing it does is it tells me the air sinking. And so where there's not fog, it's going to warm up. That's how I originally got on that tangent. So the air sinking, the inversion, we see evidence of that by the fog, what we've looked at. We even see it down here in Southern California. This is Wilshire Boulevard. This is Malibu. We see there is an inversion because there's fog. You don't get fog without an inversion typically. You can, there's ways to do it, but it's a sustained fog bank in the coastal fog, and valley fog needs an inversion. But the idea that the air is sinking and warming, and that's, we're going into this heat up, and we could see record warmth certainly tomorrow and the next day. So that's where I was going with all that. But I think it's interesting too. I think you'll feel really good talking to your friends about inversions when you get out at the next party, because then it's not otherwise. Like, they explain a lot of things through inversions, and you're like, oh, it is sort of complex, but it's not. It's really just that simple. It's the line between where the air is just stable. Nothing can happen, or nothing typically will happen until something changes. San Francisco's Ocean Beach, onshore wind, not a great day to ride waves. There are advisories out there. Swells running about 4 to 6, 4 to 7. This is Halama, beautiful day down there. No fog there. This is Point Conception, the tip, but you see a little bit of fog trying to happen offshore there. So that's Halama. This is a spot we haven't used before. I pulled up a bunch of different pictures today. This is La Jolla. Is it La Jolla? No, it's Black's. Well, it is. It's near La Jolla. It's Black's Beach, above by the college. And this has a really cool bathymetry to it. The ocean, you see how that wave kind of chunks up? It's not that big, but then it gets kind of big. There's some channels. There's some undersea deep water channels that come in and focus these waves. See how they kind of pop up? And Black's gets kind of weird big sometimes. Like, watch this guy come in. The swell's not that big, but I switched camera, didn't I? But the way the bathymetry is just the topography of the, it's topography, right? Topography is the surface stuff. Bathymetry is the underwater topography, essentially. I hope that's right, but I'm pretty sure it is. We are skiing. We are up at Palisades, Tahoe. Temperature right now at Palisades is like 32 degrees, so it's kind of warm. And they're going to get some warmth. They're going to lose some snow. They're not going to see snow up around Lake Tahoe for, goodness, probably not for another 3 or 4 days at least. And that's just a pretty shot. We can do this. I thought about doing this. I've never really done this, but let's try this. Let's go. This is another Palisades camera. This is one of my favorite hills ever. This is Siberia, just because it feels like you're gaming, because it's kind of steep at the top, but they keep it fairly groomed, so you can ski it pretty easily. So this is Siberia, and there's not a lot of wind up there. Usually there is a lot of wind up there. I don't see a lot of wind right now, but the chairs are full. Look at those chairs. You got 5, 6 people in every chair. Beautiful day to be skiing. Good for you for being up there. And let's see what else we got. Oh, I know. We just keep doing this. I mean, if you're here, I'm here, right? And then I think this is over towards Granite Chief, I think on the backside. And I think, yeah, there's movement, right? You can see people on the chairlifts moving. What a beautiful mountain. The next few days, if we take this shot again, we're going to be looking at a lot more rock, because they are going to lose some snow. This is Kirkwood. And Kirkwood's an awesome ski resort, actually. And they got some people there today. A little bit of wind in the flags. Again, just a beautiful day to be skiing. Awesome. Excited for you guys. And then here are the birds, because we can do that. And let's see, I can do this. This isn't live, but let's back it up a little bit. Oh, that's nighttime. Okay. I thought maybe we could see mom and dad doing some activity. Oh, there's babies. Let's see babies. That looks like shadow feeding the babies. Mom must have taken a break. There's a little bit of wind in the trees. This is this morning. And look how fast the eaglets are growing. I mean, they grow pretty quick. I mean, I think I read somewhere they can be, I think they're in the next, but before they leave the nest, they reach up over 10 pounds. Does that sound right? Sounds awful big to me, but I think they get pretty big. I'm going to look into that next time. I'll have it for you. But that's a good. They're having a good run of weather down there. They're having temperatures that are going to be in the 60s and 70s and 80s up high, and the birds will have a chance to get going. This is I get a kick out of this only because it's gusting to 22 miles an hour in the bird zone, if you will, right by the birds. So if I come in here, I was looking at this earlier. You can see the wind blowing in the trees. Oh, and look who's back. So I believe that's Shadow on the side there standing, the male, and then Mom. Yeah, it's hard to tell, isn't it? Yeah, that must be Mom in the nest. Anyway, the winds are blowing 20, 21 miles an hour. But again, compared to what we went through with these fellers over the course of those storms, it's a cakewalk. Okay, last look at the lenticular cloud. Let's see if I'll start it up again, just because it's fun to watch. And then we should get an extra couple minutes on this because we just burned through some time in that lenticular cloud. It's gonna be a good lenticular day. So if you get on this, go to the San Diego camera, the UC San Diego Alert California. Yeah, see that? Yeah, that got nice. That formed up nice. Okay, so again, what we're looking at is this guy here. Anyway, okay, so that was pretty casual, huh? We got some weather in there. I just thought the pictures were awesome today. It's going to be a beautiful week ahead. Tree pollens, that'll be the thing. Rain around April 1st, late March 28th or 29th. And then that period looks like it's going to be wet. That's about it. What else could be going on? No, nothing. We're good. Okay. I'll see you back here. Tomorrow's Monday. I'll do some hardcore weather tomorrow. See you back here.